Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Bioholic. Hope you all are doing well. So in this video, I am going to start the classification of phylum Chordata. So before jumping into this video, I want to remind you, after watching the full video, make sure you check the description box below because there is a link of today's self-assessment test. Now let's begin. So last day we have discussed about the key features of Chordata, and today we are going to discuss about the classification of Chordata. And before that, as a quick review, I just want to remind you that all animals that belong to the chordates are fundamentally characterized by the presence of a notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, paired pharyngeal gill slits, and post-anal tail, right? Now, the notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult in subphylum Vertebrata like us, and thus we can say that all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Okay? And beside the basic chordate characters, the vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3 or 4 chambers, kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. Okay. Now we will discuss about the diversity of Chordata. Another thing is, if you want to know more about the salient features of the chordates, then you can check out our last Wednesday's video. You can find this link in the description box. So let's come to the diversity of Chordata. Okay. So almost 64,832 species are recorded as chordates till now, and among them 32,120 species are recorded as fishes, 6,771 species are recorded as amphibians, 9,320 species are recorded as reptiles, 9,026 species are recorded as birds, and 5,750 species are mammals. And among the whole species, the smallest species of chordates is the Philippine goody, and the largest one is the blue whale. Okay, and now we will discuss about the classification of the Chordata. Now the phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphyla. One is the Urochordata, which is also known as Tunicata. Second one is the Cephalochordata, and the last one is Vertebrata. And the phylum Chordata is also divided on the basis of whether it has cranium or brain box or not. Okay, so if we classify the phylum Chordata on the basis of the presence of cranium, we can get 2 parts. One is the acraniata, which means there is no brain box or cranium, and the other one is craniata or Euchordata, where the cranium is present. Okay, so under acraniata there are 2 subphyla. One is Urochordata or Tunicata, in which notochord is present only in their larval tail. Okay, now Urochordata includes Ascidia, Sulpa, etc. And the Cephalochordata, in case of Cephalochordata, the notochord extends from head to tail region, and the example is Branchiostoma. Okay, now in case of Craniata, where the cranium is present, this is the Vertebrata. Okay, we will talk about the Vertebrata in our next lecture in details. And now we will talk about the Urochordata. So the adult body of Urochordata is enclosed within a leathery test or tunic, okay, which is formed of a cellulose-like organic substance which is termed as tunicin. and that is the reason why this phylum is called as Tunicata. Okay, and now let's see the characteristics. It possesses a notochord, a hollow nerve cord, and a postanal tail, and its body has more than 2 cell layers and includes tissues and organs, and it has a U-shaped gut in their body which has no coelomic body cavity. Okay, next, they are hermaphrodite, normally with one ovary and testes. Okay, and it has a nervous system which is composed of a anterior ganglion, and it has no excretory organs and has a distinct larval stage, and all are filter feeders. Okay, and they live in the marine environments. Okay, so they are exclusively marine, and there are about 2000 species currently known. Okay, next we will talk about the Cephalochordata. Now let's see the characteristic features of the cephalochordates. So a body of a cephalochordates is just like a fish, which is useful for their burrowing and swimming nature, and it has a tail and a head. Okay, but they don't have appendages, and instead of their appendages they have dorsal, caudal and ventral fins, which are helping them for their swimming. Okay, now body wall shows one cell thick non-ciliated epidermis, dermis, connective tissue, striated muscle and a parietal peritoneum. Okay, and they don't have any kind of exoskeleton, but their notochord extends from the anterior end to their posterior end. Okay, now their coelom is enterocoelic. Okay, however reduced in their pharyngeal region by their atrium. Okay, and if we see the image of Branchiostoma, we can see that their alimentary canal is very long, which includes a large pharynx with many gill slits. Okay, and their feeding is ciliary mode. Okay, and their gills perform their respiration, but their circulatory system is closed with absence of heart and respiratory pigments. Okay, but they have a hepatic portal system. Okay, and their excretory system shows paired protonephridia with solenocytes. Okay, and their brain is absent in their body, but they have 2 pairs of cerebral and several pairs of spinal nerves. Okay, and their sexes are separate, and their gonads are metamerically arranged and without their gonoducts. Okay, and they don't have any kind of asexual reproduction, but their fertilization is external with a sexual reproduction. Okay, and now if we compare the phylum Urochordata with the Cephalochordata, we will get that in case of Urochordata, the notochord is present only in the tail of their larva, but in case of Cephalochordata, their notochord extends from head to tail region. And in case of Urochordata, the notochord disappears in their adult phase, and in case of Cephalochordata, the notochord persists throughout their life. Okay, and in case of the Urochordata, the circulatory system is an open circulatory system, and in case of Cephalochordata, the circulatory system is closed circulatory system. And the excretion in Urochordates occurred by the neural gland, and the excretion in Cephalochordates is occurred by the protonephridia with their solenocytes. Okay, now the examples are known, that is the Urochordates includes Salpa, Toluolum, and the Cephalochordates includes Branchiostoma. Next we will talk about the vertebrata. So let's have a look into the general features of the vertebrates. So today we will learn only about the general characteristic features of the vertebrates, but next day we will learn the classification and discuss about their individual characteristic features. So let's see. The vertebrates have well-developed brain and their brain lodged into a box which is also known as cranium. And their notochord forms on the dorsal side of their primitive gut in their early embryo, and this is present at some developmental stage in all chordates. Okay, and most vertebrates possesses a through gut with a non-terminal anus, and their pharyngeal slits connect the pharynx, which is a muscular tube that links the mouth cavity and the esophagus with the outside. Okay, and they possess at some stage of their life a hollow dorsal nerve tube. They also possess at some stage of their life a dorsal cartilaginous rod which is known as notochord. They also possess at some stage of their life, that is, gill slits in their pharyngeal region, and it has a partially open circulatory system, but they become slits open to the outside in the animals with gills but disappear in those lacking gills. Okay. Next, they have two pairs of appendages, and their endoskeleton is made of cartilage or bone. First, the collagen is laid down in a matrix of fibers along the stress lines to provide their flexibility, and then calcium minerals infiltrate the fibers to provide rigidity. Okay, and the first vertebrates evolved in the oceans about 470 million years ago, and they were jawless fishes with a single caudal fin. Okay, and the appearance of hinged jaw was a major advancement, opening up new food options, and jawed fishes became the dominant creatures in the sea. Okay, and all vertebrates have a heart and a closed circulatory system. In both their circulatory and excretory functions, vertebrates differ markedly from each other. Okay, now the reproduction is normally sexual and gonochoristic. Okay, and they feed on a variety of organic materials. Okay, and they are unisexual, and they have gonad only one pair, meaning they have two testes or two ovary. Okay, now if you have any questions or doubts related to today's lecture, then ask me in the comment section below, or you can also mail us. And if you want to do your self-assessment test, then do visit the link of self-assessment test on today's lecture in the description box below. So that's all for today. If you find this video helpful, then give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. And if you are new here, then hi, myself Ankita Bishwas, your bioeducator. Please subscribe to our channel Bioholic and press the bell icon to get further notifications of our upcoming videos. So thanks for watching. Until then, take care and keep watching Bioholic.